This is going to be an interesting topic. What's the topic's name? The 2P formula for your success. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm going to give you a bird's view area, a surface level area of how these two things are going to impact your growth of success in a whole different way of doing it. So there are like low level entrepreneurs, there are like mid level entrepreneurs, there are like high level entrepreneurs, there are like low level accountability, mid level accountability, high level accountability. There are like so many different levels, and I think if you can just figure out these two things, and in this one video we are not going to talk depth of it, but if you are a part of the Academy of Ardent Scientists, I have gone deep into it. I'm planning to even do more research on this and come with solid content for the community where if you understand these two P's, it's going to help you grow in your industry, in your domain, in your superpower immensely now, because you know what's within you. There's a good phrase all over. That being said, thank you so much for joining in this one video. We're going to talk about it is going to be a short video. I am going to give you a perspective to think about, not go deep into it and ask you difficult questions, but then just give an idea of what do you mean by this and how can this two things can help you immensely in your growth of success. Thank you so much for joining in. Point number one, the first P stands for pain. P-A-I-N. Now, when we want to become great entrepreneurs, okay, and we want to hit a certain goal in life, and that goal as an entrepreneur, you create it, you craft it, you design it. When you were back in the job and we were doing something else altogether, when you were not in the entrepreneurship world, you did not got an opportunity to craft that revenue goal, craft that profits for you, craft and design those income goals for you. Now you are in this industry and you want to create it and craft okay, I'm going to make 50,000. Forget about 50. I'm going to make 50 lakhs. I'm going to make 5 crores. I'm going to make $2 million. I'm going to make $5 million. So you have that leverage to hit that, make that happen. Now, making and creating goal is two different things. Now, what drives you forward is going to be equally important and probably more important than crafting that goal. What gets you there? What drives you forward? It can boil down to these two P's. Point number one, pain. And I think I was reading this book, Select Sirhan, and he talks about four tenets of the four debut tenets or four tenets. What was the thing? Highly recommended book. Great. It's just one of the greatest books that I've read across when it comes to entrepreneurship. What is it? Four tenets. One second. The four tenets of work. Okay, the four tenets of work. What is it, okay? The pain. And what do I mean by pain? For example, I'll just give you a surface level idea. I'm not going deep into that. You might want to run away from an incident and not even run away from it, distance from a struggle that you had. Distance from an obstacle that you had which was very pathetic in nature in your life. It was a disaster. It could be you run out of money, you going broke, you quit a job and you were suffering and struggling for a very long time to start making money. You were dependent on someone on the money. You were having a very bad relationship. You were either like a lot of struggles and it was like pain. You just want to come out of that pain and go, you distance yourself from that. One of the things that I'll say you, one of the small little experience that I'm going to share with you, not even a whole idea, but then if you are a part of the Academy of Ardent Scientists, you know the story where I, on the graduation day, way back in my 12th grade, when I went on the stage, it was like this. The whole auditorium was cheering for the friend in front of me and the person back of me, not me. So it was one of the biggest struggles of mine. It's like it went so deep into me. It's like I want to go away from that moment as far as possible. Now, it doesn't mean that I want to run away from it. I'm not meaning to say that, but then I want to say I want to go far away from it, distance myself and become so successful in what I'm doing, and that becomes like a fuel for me. It's like I don't want to come closer to it. In other words, one of my mentor Vic Strategies, he speaks about it as a big blank wall, just like Game of Thrones, like big blank wall. Like how far can I go from that wall, because that wall is going to be there on your face. Point number one. Point number two, that was about how do you want to distance yourself. If you're broke, if you don't have money, how can that become a fuel for you and start making so much of money and go out and help people or give charities, give contributions, start making that impact, stuff like that. Don't become arrogant, but then become more humble in nature in the journey, because you're going to get a lot of money. Point number one. Point number two talks about pleasure. Now, these two things, I think these two things drive a human forward. Motivation, inspiration, all these cool words come under these two banners: pain or pleasure, pleasure or pain. One of the things that drives me forward, which is, I kind of touched it, it's pleasure in a way. Now, when I say pleasure, what is pleasure? Traveling. For me, traveling is a pleasure. It's like I want to go out. I don't want to escape, but then I want to go live a lifestyle where I can just travel, meet people, interact with cultures, understand how they say, what they say, their culture, the way they do things, how humble. There was this one incident when way back in 2016 when it was completely lost, and I was in a village and I was so scared that these tribe members of this particular village is going to kidnap me, take ransom from me. It's like, screw me up, and probably, I don't know, I'll not wake up in the morning. It was subtly sun setting, and I was so scared because my phone did not have battery, my power bank did not have battery. I had no idea how should I go to a different part. I was all the way from a different state to different state. I had just it was night, and I was literally in a village, and I was very scared. I did not know language. I did not know how to get out of that village. Even if I know how to get out of the village, I did not know the way back home. And I was 200 kilometers away from 200 kilometers away from home. I was like, I had no idea. But in interacting with the culture, one of the person, he came all the way to me, and I was so intimidated by that person. He was short, but then he came all the way to me. I was so scared of that person. It's like, hey, what are you going to do to me now? And he came. He's like, hey, are you lost? And it's like, hey, I'm definitely lost. How can I go to that one location? I know the name of it. My phone isn't working. My power bank isn't working. I had money, but not that much money. It's like, how can I get to the other place? He was like, hey, you don't go that way. It's going to be too far off it. You go from this way. It's going to be shorter road, and you're going to go to the other side of the mountain. And I was happy that he helped me. I drank water and I left. And when I took the route, he said, there it was in the middle of the agricultural land, and it was taking off on the hill, on the mountain. And I was so scared this time, because now I was even more interior to the village now. I was going in depth of village to come out of it. I was so scared. There was like one of the rickshaws standing and blocking the way. I had to cruise my way all the way to the side of it and take off. I was so scared. Like, okay, is it going to be planned kidnapping for me? Is it like, are this like, he already contacted someone to block my way? But then when I came out, that guy genuinely helped me, and instead of me spending 30 minutes on a different route, it just took me 5 minutes to come out of and be where I wanted to be. I was like, hey, that's so humble. That's what drives me forward. Instead of pain is one part of the word, one of the game. But when it comes to pleasure, traveling excites me. It gives me that adrenaline just by thinking of it. Okay, if I make this amount of money, I'm going to travel this place. If I'm going to make this, if I'm going to hit this amount of, okay, I'm going to take my family here. If I'm going to take the community in this place. I'm going to go to the fortress here, plan this vacation, plan that. Pleasure. It can be money, it can be traveling, it can be roaming around, it can be anything. So 2 points big. What 2P formula can be for you? Success, like what drives you more? Like, is it pain that you want to distance yourself? Like, you just don't want to go be broke back again if you were broke? Or is it pleasures? Like, what drives you forward? What is like, it can be both. It can be either of it. It can be a combination of both. It can be anything. That being said, we have come to the conclusion of this one video. Thank you so much. I hope whatever I said, examples that I heard made sense to you. That being said, I'm going to record another video on this one for the Academy of Art and Scientists, probably very soon, because it's a very interesting topic altogether. We are going to move on to a different topic, and I'm going to see you in another video. Thank you so much, and see you. Take care. Bye bye.